Hello, my name is John Wilson. You might know me.
That's okay. Don't worry. John, interview, take 2.
Hello, my name is John Wilson. You might know me from my HBO Fuck. What's the tone of this? Am I welcoming you to my house?
Take 3.
Hey, New York. As we all know, New York City is home to some of the most beautiful, desperate, and selfish people on the planet.
Hello, my name is John Wilson, and you might know me. I had a show on HBO called How To with John Wilson. We are in my living room, which also doubles as my office. In the morning, I usually get up, I make coffee, and then I go to the store and I get another coffee. Then I will go out and film. I usually take the train into Manhattan and get off at a random stop and start walking around until I get tired. I usually have a concept in my head.
Congratulations, you've decided to start smoking. Now, smoking isn't as easy as it seems. It takes a lot of time, energy, and money if you want to do it right.
Having that anchor when I start filming something is important, because then it kind of frees up my mind to embrace all the distractions around me. That way the rest of the world can kind of flow in.
In most stores, a cigarette should be right behind the counter, right next to the stop smoking center.
I always need something to work against. I really like that there's no barrier to entry with nonfiction stuff. When you shoot a doc, it just looks the way that it's supposed to look. It doesn't need to look cinematic. It's really important to have a dedicated video camera that doesn't do something else, that isn't connected to the internet or that is your phone, because I think the way that you shoot is much different, and the way that you think about preserving your memories is different than if you're just passively filming something on your phone. I feel like when I started making little movies as a kid, I would make a movie every day. It gave a lot of freedom to experiment. I made this weird movie called The Invisible Man, which was just like, we covered me in blue paint, but never really got around to making me invisible.
I'm invisible, and I like it.
It's just so weird. But yeah, all of my personal tapes are kind of like in here. The way I thought about video art changed a lot when I was in my early 20s, and I really learned to strip everything away or try to embrace the home video qualities. Like when I would look back at my old videos from childhood, I get really frustrated because everything was just kind of a performance. The best part of that material, when I look back at it now, is like all the in-between stuff of life as it was. This is a home video of mine. This is an old block party in Queens. That's my dad's mom in the far seat. And this is some of the best video I think the family captured. Like what is happening here, it's just people sitting on chairs and smiling, talking to each other. There's not much else to it. I'm always thinking of how excited early documentarians were to just to have a device that could shoot with sound and image. You look at the early Maisel brothers movies, or Robert Frank even, documenting without a purpose is really important. And I like to keep everything as simple as it was back then, in a way. The Americans was the first kind of exposure I had to Robert Frank. I devoured his work, I think, with a lot of other really legendary street photographers. Capturing little stuff like this, like little gestures and expressions, like even if you don't use it for anything, even something really banal will excite people in the future. This is the kind of experimentation I really like. You know, there's no story or anything, but it's like the way you'll capture something and then the same thing will happen again a day later, you know, in a different environment. And now you have a pattern that you then need to like chase. The longer poetic moments and shooting everything around you, trusting your intuition. When I was a kid, I would always just go and dumpster dive, and I feel like I'm still kind of doing that in a way. Where, I mean, like, yeah, like this tape. Like I would go into the trash and get these. This is from, you know, when I was a kid. I've been framing these weird things that I find. This is a fly swatter. This I got for the cinema I want to open. This is gonna point you to where the theater is. I've been getting these old calendars for when the years line up with the old years. I take clippings from the newspaper almost every day, but I kind of think about the footage in a similar way. It's all like, you know, can be rearranged to make like a larger poem or like a bigger like sentence in a way. All of this is like Miss USA tapes. This is like stuff that I just found. This one says, every woman wants. The material itself may not have a purpose. There is this kind of randomizer element to it that may inspire some other projects. I spent a lot of time looking through old videotapes from families that I don't have a relationship with. Like all of this is just some family's tapes that I found on Craigslist. I'll usually digitize an entire lot of old videotape from a family and then just see if there's anything interesting in there. This was one of the crazier tapes. Okay, so on the spine of this, it just said male stripper. And it says Diane at 50 on the spine, on the tape. And then, so I opened it up and it's a family party. You can see there's children everywhere. And then this guy shows up. So this is the kind of stuff I'm usually after, but I don't have any use for it really. But there could be some kind of strange confession in there or some kind of like weird poetic moments.
How old are you now?
Being in between projects is interesting. I've had a really bad work ethic over the past year or two, but now when I look back at all the stuff I shot, even though I thought I was doing a really lazy job of it, like even if you do like a little tiny bit every single day, just by the sheer momentum of committing to an idea, even if it's just a sentence, a title of something, that ends up turning into something. The info.
Documentary, do you go with that?
Yeah. I kind of usually just make stuff that...
Like what?
Like, I'm making a movie about the sidewalk right now, I guess.
Yeah, you got Instagram?
Yeah, it's Peeping John. I was having a hard time with routine, and I needed structure. So I signed a lease on this very small commercial space and just started to build out this theater with a few friends. This is going to be the concession cabinet that Chelsea was building. This is kind of a harebrained idea that I had to put something in really kind of poor taste on the facade. It's something that is like pretending to be two different other materials. Kind of like up here-ish. Oh yeah, so the hand is gonna go there, and it's gonna point
Into the theater.
into the theater. Yeah. But hold on, I want to show you the ET. This is ET. You know, I think he looks worse than he ever has at this point. But I'm just drawing it right now, and then we'll be able to repaint it.
What would you say filming every day has taught you about human behavior and modern living?
I don't know, just through filming every day, it's just like just trying to prove to myself that everything is interesting, you know, no matter what. Aside from being from here, I feel like New York is a really good place for collage material because everywhere you look, there's some phrase or image that you can capture and then repurpose for something later. Those framing mechanisms help you to reimagine what this material means to you, and I'm just constantly worried about losing the memory of something or losing the actual physical places and people that I really love. And I think it's important to treat really mundane things as if they are these kind of important pieces of work. You'll kind of never run out of material by just embracing just what's outside.